Part 1. The Hidden Wealth Milestone. Most people think wealth starts at $1 million. Others believe you need a six-figure income before money becomes easier. But in reality, there's a much smaller milestone that can completely change the way you think about money, make decisions, and build wealth. That number is $20,000. Not because it's enough to retire, not because it's life-changing money on its own, but because it's the point where money stops being your biggest source of stress and starts becoming a tool that works for you. And once you reach that point, everything begins to accelerate. Part 2. Life in survival mode. Think about how most people live financially. Every paycheck already has a job before it arrives. Rent, bills, groceries, debt payments, transportation. By the time the money hits the account, it's practically gone. When you're operating like that, every unexpected expense feels like an emergency. A car repair isn't annoying, it's a crisis. A medical bill isn't inconvenient, it's a setback. Even small purchases can create guilt and anxiety. That's because your brain is focused on survival. When money is tight, your attention naturally goes toward immediate problems. You're constantly reacting instead of planning. It's difficult to think about investing, building wealth, or taking opportunities when you're worried about making it to the next paycheck. Part 3. The psychological shift. That's why the first major financial breakthrough isn't becoming rich. It's creating enough distance between yourself and financial emergencies. For many people, that distance begins around $20,000. At that level, you've usually built a solid emergency fund and have enough breathing room to handle life's surprises without falling apart financially. And that changes your mindset completely. Instead of asking, "How do I get through this month?" you start asking, "How do I grow from here?" That shift is more powerful than most people realize. Part 4. When money starts working for you. But there's another reason $20,000 matters. It's where compound growth starts becoming visible. Let's say you're investing consistently every month. When your portfolio is small, investment gains feel insignificant. A good year might earn you a few $100s. Nice, but not exciting. As your balance grows, those same percentage gains begin producing meaningful results. The investment strategy hasn't changed. The market hasn't changed. You haven't suddenly become a financial genius. The only difference is that you have more money working on your behalf. For the first time, you're not relying entirely on your income. Your money is contributing too. That's when wealth building starts to feel real. Part 5. The hardest $20,000 you'll ever save. And here's something interesting. Saving the first $20,000 is often the hardest part. Not because of the number itself, because of the habits required to reach it. To save that amount, you have to learn discipline. You have to spend less than you earn. You have to resist impulse purchases. You have to stay consistent when progress feels slow. Most importantly, you have to keep going long enough to prove to yourself that you're capable of doing it. That process changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's always struggling financially. You start seeing yourself as someone who can build wealth. And that belief affects every future decision you make. Because once you've saved $20,000, you know something important. You can do difficult things. You can delay gratification. You can commit to a long-term goal and actually follow through. Those skills become valuable far beyond money. Part 6. The freedom advantage. But perhaps the biggest benefit is freedom. Not total freedom. Not retirement-level freedom. But enough freedom to make better decisions. Imagine you're stuck in a job you hate. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, quitting isn't really an option. You need the income immediately. So you tolerate things you shouldn't. You stay longer than you want. You accept conditions you know aren't right. But when you have substantial savings, the situation changes. Now you have options. You can take time to find a better opportunity. You can negotiate with more confidence. You can take calculated risks because one setback won't destroy your finances. That confidence is incredibly powerful, and people notice it. You become more assertive, more willing to ask for raises, more willing to pursue better opportunities. Ironically, having money often helps you earn more money because you're no longer making decisions from fear. Part 7. Wealth creates options. This is what many people misunderstand about wealth. Wealth isn't just about buying things. It's about creating options. Options create opportunities, and opportunities often create more wealth. But here's where many people make a mistake. They finally reach a major savings milestone and immediately reward themselves by spending a large portion of it. A new car, a luxury vacation, a lifestyle upgrade. The problem is that the money that created your freedom starts disappearing the moment you stop treating it like an asset. Your first $20,000 isn't a finish line. It's a foundation. It's the seed from which future wealth grows. The goal isn't simply to reach it. The goal is to protect it and allow it to compound. Because the longer you leave it alone, the harder it works. Part 8. The real value of $20,000. This also changes how you think about spending. Most people focus on tiny expenses, skipping coffee, using coupons, saving a few dollars here and there. Those things aren't bad, but they usually don't determine your financial future. The biggest financial decisions are almost always the ones that matter most. Where you live, what you drive, how much you save, how much debt you take on, what you invest in. One smart decision in these areas can be worth more than years of cutting small expenses. Once you've built a financial foundation, your attention naturally shifts toward these larger decisions. You stop asking, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" and start asking, "What is this costing my future?" That's a completely different way of thinking. And it's how wealth builders approach money. The truth is, $20,000 won't make you rich. It won't solve every problem. It won't allow you to quit working forever. But it can give you something just as valuable: momentum. It moves you from constant financial stress toward financial stability. It gives your money the ability to start working alongside you. It creates confidence, flexibility, and opportunity. Most importantly, it proves that wealth building is possible. Because once you've reached the first major milestone, the next one becomes easier. And then the one after that. Over time, your savings grow. Your investments grow. Your confidence grows. And eventually, the life that once felt impossible starts becoming your reality. So if you're still working toward that first $20,000, keep going. It may not look impressive from the outside, but it could be the single most important financial milestone you ever reach. Because the real value isn't the number itself. It's the person you become on the way there.